Hello guys, Nurski coming back to you guys. Had a couple of rendering issues with my rendering program, so it was a little bit difficult to get a game out, but I don't know why, but I keep losing my settings. It's really weird, to be totally honest. I don't know why I keep losing the settings on my rendering, but whatever. Got it fixed, so here we are. So we're going to be doing some 2v2 action as promised via my Twitter. This game going to be coming from the Complexity Masters Cup 2v2 tournament that Zeke puts on. Got some really top-notch, high-level 2v2 players, which is why I'm going to be bringing you this game, because it's not going to be just a couple of slouches being bad. It's going to be some really good, high-level 2v2 play. So first off, guys, spawning as our red Protoss is going to be Levels. And then his teammate spawning as our blue Terran is going to be Baz. And they are Team Bad News. Then moving over to their opponent, spawning as our aqua-colored Terran, actually playing random in this tournament, is going to be TSL's Alive. And then his teammate spawning as our green Terran is going to be TSL Heart. Now, of course, a lot of people may know Alive and Heart. Heart currently, I believe, is in Code B, so not quite in Code A yet. Alive, of course, a Code S player. Their opponents here are not bad, though, in any way, shape, or form. Baz is actually a GM on the North American ladder in 1v1. Levels I am not too sure about, but he has won with actually TQs or Get Slammed twice before in these 2v2 tournaments here on Zeke, so should be pretty interesting. Do have the initial gateway going down here for Levels is going to be immediately taking his gas. Baz at the same time going to be taking his gas and getting his first barracks up. Then if we look over here in the base of TSL Alive, we see actually no barracks even yet. It's going to be going command center before barracks. Meanwhile, his opponent, as we have a little bit of SCV harassment here, trying to be as annoying with that SCV here. For first, who is actually Heart, so he's going to be Heart, just playing on an account that says TSL first, but he is indeed Heart. Do see him actually taking a gas and getting his first barracks up, going to be immediately going into his second barracks. Do have the first barracks for Alive just now getting started up. Now, to be totally honest, looking at the two openers of these teams, on Tirador Keep, if you'll follow me for just a moment, you can see there's actually a small ramp here, and then over here there's actually some destructible rocks that open up a back door. But essentially those are the only two entrances into your base, and then you have an in-base third. So I really do like this play out of Alive and Heart with this early expansion play, just because it is a lot easier to defend a 3-base look on this map. If we look at their opponents here, Baz and Levels, I'm going to definitely be expecting them to do some kind of a tech play, some kind of a pressure early on, if they aren't going to be taking this expansion, just because it is normally so very accessible. Do see the Stargate now going down for Levels, so we could have some kind of a one-base Stargate out of the Protoss, and maybe some kind of a 1-1-1 or something like that out of Baz. We'll have to wait and see here what they're going to do exactly, though, because as more time goes by, of course, the extra economy here for Heart and Alive is going to start to kick in. Do you see that second orbital command now getting morphed in? Both players teching up a little bit. Do have Stim here already on the way for Heart. Do have a factory now on the way here for Alive. It's just operating off of one gas right now. Still mostly focused on getting his economy up as soon as humanly possible. That Stargate is now going to finish up here for Levels, and we actually have him moving out here on the map. Not exactly sure what he's going to do. And actually, guys, he is putting down a fleet beacon. So the only thing I can think here is he's either going to be rushing to carriers or to a mothership. Now, I think of the two, the one that I'd say would be more practical is some kind of a mothership rush. So we're going to have to wait and see what he's doing. Do have siege tanks on the way. We could have some kind of a basically a 1-1-1 style push, or maybe even just a straight tank marine push. We do have the starport now getting made, so it is going to be some kind of a 1-1-1 push coupled with a mothership that could actually be an extremely potent composition, just because it is so hard to have enough detection to deal with motherships on this map. You have the factory now finishing up for Alive, though. Is getting a starport as well. Going to be having 3 Raxes here for Heart pretty shortly. Do have a bunker going down at the front here, so they are expecting the potential of some kind of a rush out of their opponents. No siege mode or anything just yet for Alive. Is building a siege tank, though. That Stim just about to finish up. But pretty good economy right now. If we look at the income tab, we can actually see that right now Heart and, of course, Alive are in a very good position, since they do have that 2-base look compared to their opponents. But their opponents are doing pretty good. Do see siege mode now on the way for both players. And yes, indeed, there is going to be a mothership on the way here for levels. So he is indeed going to be building that very fast mothership, going to be backing this up with a 4-gate play behind it. So going 4 gates plus mothership, so probably going to start switching over to units now that he does have that mothership on the way. Nothing coming out of the Stargate besides that all. It looks like behind this pressure they are going to be building a command center and expanding to their third, so Baz will be taking that expansion. Smart to have the Terran player take that in-base expansion. Mules with an orbital commander is going to give you so much more income, and of course you can share income. You have a little bit of a move out here by Hart. Will kill that Marine that was hanging out at that Zanaga Tower. Will blind Baz and levels, at least temporarily. Do see though that Hart is going to be moving forward. Maybe wants to see if he can get aggressive with these guys just in case they are econing too hard. Not going to be the case though, because that's the exact opposite of what these guys are actually doing. Do see a big scan goes down now by Hart. We'll get a view of everything that's going on up in the base there. Does see that, and actually look at this, they actually scanned the fleet beacon, so they actually should know that this push could be on the way, and there comes the mothership, and now we do see them already starting to move out. Do even have a forward pylon over here for level so that he can reinforce units more quickly. So it's really going to be up to Alive here and Hart to actually hold this very strong one base essentially push here out of Baz and of course levels. Now they do have this expansion up now in their base, so they are going to eventually be on equal terms here. See those siege tanks, they're sieging up right outside of the base of Alive, and Alive is going to have a hard time actually defending. As you see right now, all the stalkers, the tank sieging up over here is going to force it to pull back all those SCVs or he will lose them. So they're economically going to be starting to get taken away, and at the same time we do see Hart actually expanding to their natural. A couple of Marine Marauders kind of hanging out there, but not really going to be able to do anything. This army is just so big right now for levels and Baz. A brilliant 2v2 play here by these guys, utilizing those siege tanks, but Alive we do see being very smart, gets up a Raven very quickly, so they will have detection here without having to actually use scans, but they are going to be forced to lift this command center for now and back it up. Levels will need to be careful. I do believe there is a couple of Vikings. Yes, there are coming out here for Alive. Does have a reactor starport starting to work away on that mothership. Is going to force them to back up. Not enough Vikings to just take this mothership out outright. Now they're actually going to force Hart off of his expansion. Do see them now trying to siege up, and a great vortex goes down. Gets almost the entire army there of Hart. Will prevent them from being able to push in and do any damage, but that mothership is starting to take a lot of damage. One of the Vikings go down, but still one Viking left remaining. Now even a drop into the main from Baz, trying to do as much damage as they can. That army now popping out. One of the siege tanks will get sieged up. Scans going down to try and clear out the siege tank. Does manage to get all the siege tanks. Now going to be pushing forward, trying to take out the units here. If they can clean this up, it'd be absolutely huge. That mothership getting extremely low, does not have any more energy for Vortex, is going to need to be careful or they will lose that mothership. And it looks like, at least for the time being, that Hart and Alive are going to indeed hold. You do see that Hart has retaken this expansion over here at the natural, so being very smart about taking the expansion as quickly as possible, moves forward, will pick off just a single siege tank, but now we do see Hart trying to move forward and pick off some of Baz's siege tanks. Not going to quite be able to do it. Now we do have Baz adding in a couple of Vikings to try and get that single Raven. Not going to quite be able to pick it off, and here comes the Vikings now of Alive. Should be able to pick up these other Vikings. Needs to be careful though. These Vikings could just focus for this Raven, and they do, and take it out. And there goes the detection. They are going to be reliant on scans now. Do see a scan going down. That pylon's still alive, able to reinforce in units right here to the front of their base. And now behind this, they are going to finally be expanding over here to take their fourth base. But right now, Alive has actually not been able to mine at this base for quite some time now, so getting no economy out of it whatsoever. If you look back in his main, completely oversaturated. Now is trying to transfer some SCVs over, as he does have a couple of siege tanks hanging out there to try and mine there. But right now, the very edge of this base is actually in range of the siege tank of Baz. Going to be doing some damage there. Going to have to be careful with moving the army forward. Mothership right now is doing pretty good. It actually brought up some SCVs here of Baz to repair the mothership, because yes, Protoss units are mechanical, so they can be repaired by SCVs, but now we do have Alive trying to move forward, trying to get a position. If they can take out this mothership, it would be huge, because then they would not need detection. Do see some turrets now going down even to try and reinforce this position as they try and mine from here. But we do see right now that pressure still being put on by Levels and Baz as they try and break the base of Alive, trying to harass them, keep them in a bad position, while meanwhile we do have that expansion just about to finish up for Levels. Levels does have plenty of probes to transfer over to this base, but this battle still going on, trying to get the mothership once again. do have 2 Vikings poking away at, but they do need to be careful because of all of those stalkers here by Levels. So very smart strategy here by Levels and Bass. Have been putting on a lot of pressure to Alive and to Heart, but of course Heart and Alive being the good players that they are, getting this expansion up even in the midst of all this pressure, getting some of their other expansions back and operating. So actually still not out of this in any way, shape, or form just yet, but there is still definitely an economic advantage at the moment here for Baz and for Levels, as they are on 4 bases versus kind of a sort of 3.5 look here by Alive and by Heart. So the longer that they can keep this contain up here, the better this is going to be. Doing very good microing this mothership, keeping it alive as long as possible. Going to maybe finally be able to transfer a couple of SCVs back over here now that his Viking count is up high enough to kind of deal with the Vikings of Baz. Baz does have 3 of his Vikings over here with the rest of the army, not producing a ton of Vikings. Now we do have 5 Vikings out here for Alive, producing a lot more. Really wants to get rid of this mothership if possible. We have a little minor engagement here, just a single Marine trying to stim forward to check out the natural expansion for Heart, but not going to be able to see it. And we do actually have Heart moving out on the map with quite a few of his Marines and Marauders. Not exactly sure what the plan's going to be here. Do have, once again, the mothership versus Viking war once again. Going to be going back and forth here. Needs to be careful, wants to try and keep that alive. And there, very smart Vortex gets it down and does not quite get the single Raven. That would have been a huge pickoff, but does not manage to get it. Raven surviving with just 2 hit points. Now a couple of SCVs moving over to repair. And there we go, a couple of Marines moving forward. Those Vikings moving forward as well, but they do pick off the Raven once again, and now there is no detection, and the couple of Vikings here are able to go. And then another great Vortex snap move there by Levels, grabs all of the Vikings once again. Just great micro by these players. And now we actually do have Baz, interestingly enough, going to be taking this top left-hand corner base behind this pressure. Not opting to actually take this base, although Heart is actually scouting that. Now a lot more units moving forward. That mothership still very much in the game and on the map, and creating so much havoc here for Alive and for Heart, as they just can't do anything about this army so long as that mothership is there to help cloak the entire army, having to waste a lot of scans, not being able to mule very much at all. You can see right now the economy at this base basically in shambles. Heart's economy not too bad, but really not able to do too much on the map. And now we do see him loading up a couple of medevacs. Looks like he's going to be making a big push out here. Do have Alive actually sending an SCV out onto the map as well. That mothership still just playing havoc with these 2 guys. They just cannot get rid of this kind of light contain here by Levels and Baz. But we do have Heart moving out with a ton of these Marine Marauder units, actually mostly Marauder at this point. A couple of medevacs with them as well. Do not believe they are aware of this base at all just yet. If we actually grab this SCV, we can see that they do indeed have no idea that this base is there yet. Does look like they're going to be trying to expand, since they are kind of able to leak out around the side there. Look at the upgrades. No blink upgrades just yet. Do have a lot more gateways getting added on. Has gotten double forges up, as you can see. No upgrades just yet. Can't help but think that's just a little bit of a mistake. And now here we go. Big drop over here into the main base here. No units left back here to actually defend this. Do have these siege tanks now sieging up over here by TSL Heart's base. Right now we can't see those Vikings getting taken out, and now these Marine Marauders are going to be doing a lot of damage. Nothing left back here to defend. Trying to warp in a couple units. We do see the Marines and a lot of the units of Levels getting pulled back now to deal with these Marine Marauder, as they were just tearing through the bases. They're going to get a couple of the SCVs here of Baz, so Baz will lose some of his economy, but this is going to get cleaned up finally by Levels and Baz. But at the same time, we do have these guys moving out. Mothership actually did just get destroyed. So at the same time that these 2 battles were happening, TSL Live moves out, picks off the mothership with his superior Viking count. Just this one lone siege tank now left on the map here for these guys, and finally going to be able to saturate this base with all of his workers. Now at the same time, we actually do see a command center going down for Heart near this gold base. Do have this command center finished up for Baz, so they do still have an advantage. We do see them now actually moving out onto the map. We can see right now, Baz at 100 supply, Levels at 124 supply. And there we go. Again, very good move here. I actually lied. Mothership is actually still alive. So, my bad on that. Vortex goes down, though. Looks like he wants to try and clean up all these Vikings if possible. Gonna attempt to clean up these Vikings if he can anyways. And now here's the Vikings, and gonna try and pick off a lot of them. Will get a couple, but not gonna get all of them. So it looks like the Mothership actually was just retreated with the army. So Mothership has not died just yet. Mothership still very much out on the map. Could have just looked at my unit stats. So I was just being a little bit of a derpiter. on that one. We do see, though, that Hart is moving out with some of his units. These guys look like they're still both unaware of the other one's expansion. Neither one actually knows they're there. They're actually right next door to each other. This army just kind of hanging out here in the middle of the map. That mothership's still very much a presence on the map. Do see now a drop getting loaded up. Looks like they want to try and apply some pressure back to these guys once again. No additional expansions coming out of levels just yet. Just 2 basing extremely hard right now. A lot of Vikings out right now, 4 alive though, so he is more than prepared to try and deal with that mothership if he can ever get a good angle on it. Looks like he's going to think about it, but no, not going to be able to get in there. Levels very quick on the draw there. Do see a lot of the units of Baz kind of moving around on the map as well, trying to control this center area of the map as much as humanly possible if they can. If they can control that center, it will be huge. But now we do have a drop over here at this base of Baz. It looks like Hart bumped into the base with his Marines, going to force this pick up here by Baz, and it might have been a mistake to not have actually just taken this gold base down here, as it looks like he's going to have to be trying to retreat this. Not sure if he's going to get the orbital command away. It is actually on fire. He will spot the base of Hart, but that base is dangerously low, and now just a couple of hit points left on it. Medevac and a couple of Vikings do come and get the single Medevac and a couple of the Marines over there from Hart, but now we do see them moving around the map once again, still holding this area, and we do see a lot of the Marines and Marauders here of Hart moving out onto the map. Here comes all those Vikings. Vikings going to actually be picking off the other Vikings, so we do have these guys just kind of positioning around the map. Do see him trying to retake this base. Needs to get it repaired ASAP though, as it is down to 120 hit points. Moving around the map quite a bit there. Now trying to work on these rocks. Another drop going to be going up here towards this base. Is repairing it with the mules, so we'll be able to repair it at least for now. Do see these Vikings doing a very good job around the map. Shared control, always a very smart thing to have in a 2v2 situation, but we do have them attacking in, trying to get this base once again, and it looks like it's going to end up being not a total waste of mules, as he is going to be able to get this base away. But if those Vikings come over here, they should be able to clean up that command center quite easily right now. Do have levels and Bass still hanging around the map though, all over the place. We'll pick off that single Marine, but right now we do have TSL Hart with a lot of Marine Marauder on the map, a whole lot of Vikings here coming out of TSLs alive. Looks like they're going to actually just knock down their backdoor rocks. You see alive, not with a whole lot of units, actually mostly economy right now. It does have a handful of units, though. See a few siege tanks, a couple of Marines as well. And we do have these guys actually moving out. Looks like they're going to be storming after the natural, potentially, as we do have Hart and Alive getting a little bit out of position for just a second. They are going to cut those guys off, are going to stop them from moving forward any further. Needs to be careful, does not want to lose these Vikings to all these Marines. There is that cloak ever available to them from the mothership, so that mothership playing out huge still even at this point in time. A couple of siege tanks will be able to almost kill the siege tank. 3 hit points left, and will finally take it out. Not going to be moving over there natural, and this is huge for Hart and Alive. They cannot afford to lose this base, but that is exactly what's going to happen. A big counter in, but now actually trying to attack into the main. We do see Hart actually plugging it up, going to be able to take all this out. We'll probably be able to get this lone orbital command if he focus fires it. Yes, he does, but is going to lose all of those Marines to the rest of the Marine and Marauder forces of Hart, so Hart cleans that up very easily. Look at his upgrades. He is at 1-1 currently. Right now, Baz still at 0-0, and actually trying to move into the siege tanks. This could be a huge mistake there by levels, and he actually loses almost all of his immortals, and now it looks like Hart and Alive may have to try and take advantage of this. They do have him sieged up here. Not a lot of army left. Can't really break this. Could just try and move out and go around the other way. Did have them attack in, but that is a planetary fortress on that gold. Not be able to attack into that. And a brilliant move coming up here by Hart as he's moving all of his Marine and Marauder forces down over here. Do have a lot of Templars here, but it does not have Storm completed just yet. If we actually look at the production queue, Storm only 25% done. Is going to be forced to morph those into some Archons. Those are going to be absolutely useless, and not having those Archons is going to play out huge right now. Looks like he's going to lose this entire natural expansion. Do see him trying to reposition some of his units and retreat. These siege tanks basically stuck up here, but we do have a lot of Marines trying to intercept. These Marine Marauders just running roughshod. Will take out that natural expansion from the main. Now going to be moving over here trying to take out the main expansion itself. Do have some siege tanks here lining up for Basso to try and hold this Marine Marauder army. Not sure if they're going to be successful at it or not. It's going to be extremely close, but Levels is losing a lot of his production capability here, and this is not playing out very well for them at all. Here comes Levels forces now to try and help reinforce this front here, but he has lost that Templar Archives, so it is pretty huge. Now at the same time, here comes those Vikings moving forward. Siege tanks trying to crawl forward and take out the rest of these other siege tanks. Do have an expansion over here by Levels now. did manage to force the rest of these Marine Marauders to retreat, so they will hold for now, but did take a ton of damage. If you look economically speaking, this entire base mined out. This base over here mined out as well. It's basically just operating off of this one orbital command over here and this orbital command trying to get some economy over here, and then this Nexus that is on the way, but you can see no income at all for levels. Very minimal income here for Baz at this time. So right now they are not able to reinforce at all, and Heart and Alive, I think you smell blood in the water. Moving forward now, sieging up, going to try and contain the front here of their base. The Siege Tank's in a giant ball, but here we go. Levels is going to be moving out. It's going to try and move into this. Does have Blink. No charge though. Going to be trying to move in, and here comes the rest of the units here for Heart, and this could be the last battle of the game. Does have air dominance, so it's going to be able to take these Siege Tanks out rather easily, and there goes down the GG, and game number 1 is going to go to Heart and Alive. Brilliant played game by Heart and Alive. Very smart move there by Levels and Baz, that mothership rush into a 4-gate plus some 1-on-1 Siege Tank Marine push. Worked out pretty well for them initially. Got a lot of damage done to Heart and Alive, but were not able to follow it up with enough an economic move and a positioning move. Real big point in that game definitely was this battle up in this area. I don't remember what the minutes were exactly at, but when they actually lost, had their army choked off there, that huge counter there by Heart really just spelled the end of the game for them. That and the inability to actually take the expansion. I think it was a mistake to not have taken this gold expansion quite a bit earlier instead, especially since they did have a contain on. Taking that gold expansion may have potentially made the difference in the game, but we'll never know, because the ultimate result is that Heart and Alive will take game number 1, guys. I'll be back with game number 2 tomorrow, and then that might be it for the Thanksgiving weekend. I'm going to be doing the Star Wars The Old Republic beta once again, so I'll be doing that quite a bit, and then also I have my family I'm going to be spending a lot of time with over Thanksgiving weekend. So everybody have a good Thanksgiving. I'll be back with game 2 tomorrow. Please subscribe to both my Twitter and my YouTube, and I will see you guys at my next cast. Peace easy.